think we are ready. Let's see. Okay, we are ready. Let's move that out of the way. Okay, so let's pick another song. Something simple tonight. How about Jaiva? That's simple enough. Jaiva, Ora Channa Bodai, Jaiva, Ora Channa Bodai, Godanindra, Yamaya, Visachirakodai, Godanindra, Yamaya, Visachirakodai, Majivo, money I say, Samsara Vitare, Money I say, Samsara Vita, Yahuiri to me, Afijarupa. Panuara, Kaya Jaitomara, Ereche, Shoti Maya, Naksi Paralaki, Atinam Mamantra, Love to me. Shone Maya, Naksi Paralaki, Urinam Mama, Mantra Lamtu Mimaki, Makati Vinoda Prabhu, Yamane Bhutiya. Say Wakati Vinod Prabhu Jane Horia Tehari Nama Mantra Loila Magia Chijago Chijago Go rich and go lady Go Tanidra Yaumaya Lisa Jirigo Chijago Chijago Go rich and go lady Tanidra Maya Lisa Jirigo Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paravatikacharya Osuteta Satashi Shimad His Divine Grace Savaya Charanada Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopi Gopinath Swayam Mukunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Maturanam Ki Jai Jagadata Swami Ki Jai Yamunamai Ki Jai Srimad Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Samvita Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaura Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories the assembled devotees. All glories the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachani Nivishesha Shunyapadi Paschatya Dejatarni. So let me read the translation. Lord Gaurachandra is calling, wake up sleeping soul, wake up sleeping soul. How long will you sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya? You've forgotten the way of devotional service and are lost in the cycle of birth and death. I have descended just to save you. I am your only true friend, other than me. What friend do you have? I have brought the medicine that will wipe out the disease of illusion from which you suffer. Take this great chant for deliverance, Mahamantra, the names of Hari. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, falling at the Lord's lotus feet, take shelter of the Harinam mantra, the Lord's holy names. Jai, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Ki Jai. So, okay. So, with that in mind, we're going to go to the Jaiva Dharma. And what is the Jaiva Dharma? It's a work by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that elaborates on every aspect of the philosophy of Krishna consciousness in the context of a beautiful story. And right now we're hearing the discussion between Vijay Kumar and his nephew, Rajanath, with their spiritual master, the Babaji. And we are going to hear more. So let's share the screen. Om Ganati Miranda Shah. Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Meditam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual masters, Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who so kindly opened my eyes with the torch light of knowledge while I was blinded in the darkness of ignorance. Okay, share the screen. Jaiva Dharma ki jai. Here we go. Let's just center that. And get everything ready. All right, so we're hearing about Nama Boss right now. Of course, Nama Boss means not pure chanting, but not offensive chanting either. And that Namabas has the result of freeing you from all your karma and giving you some spiritual advancement. So ultimately you'll come to the lotus feet of Krishna. So here's an interesting question. Vijay Kumar said, Prabhu, in this world there are many Vaishnava Bas devotees who are wearing the marks of Vaishnava. Abas means Vaishnavas, well, they appear to be Vaishnavas, some of them are actually Vaishnavas. Some of them are chanting Pratibimba, and some of them are chanting Chaya. Pratibimba is offensive. Chaya is like a shadow. It's not offensive, it's not distorted. What is the reason that they do not attain prema even after a long time? Babaji said the secret is this. Even if those with bhakti abhasa can be become qualified for pure bhakti, they associate with persons devoid of pure bhakti, considering those persons to be proper devotees. So, in other words, even when we're trying our best to progress in Krishna consciousness, at the same time, if we're associating with people, like intimate association, with people who are just pretenders or people who want some material things in the name of devotional service but have like a facade, that means an exterior of devotion, then you're not going to achieve your goal of pure Krishna consciousness. You're not going to come to the stage of chanting purely. By associating with Mayavadis and others, they become offenders of the pure devotees and obstruct their path of advancement. By that association, they become obedient to the false doctrine. Going far away from pure bhakti, they become a member of the offending group. If by strong previous sukritis they remain separate from offenders and then have good association, they become pure Vaishnavas. So there's many groups, and we're not going to mention names because we don't want to offend anybody. There's many groups that may build big temples and be engaged in puja, just waving the incense, who are offenders. Because ultimately, when push comes to shove, they're taking up devotional service as a means to the end of the material end, that is, either liberation, merging into the existence of the Lord, and you chant, and ultimately you merge into Krishna, or they're taking up devotional service in order to achieve some material goal, like Satyanarayan Kata. So you got to be really careful who you closely associate with. Very, very important. Vijay Kumar said, Prabhu, what are the results of offenses to the name? Wow, this is really heavy. Babaji said, even if one multiplies by 10 million times the 5 types of sin, it is not equal to offenses against the name. The result of offenses to the name can be easily understood. Vijay Kumar said, the result of offense to the name is as described. Is there no good result when chanting the syllables of the name with offense? Babaji said the name gives whatever results the offender desires by chanting the name. It never gives him prema, unless one wants to. At the same time, the person must experience the result of the offense to the name. The offender who chants with evil intentions receives a similar result. Many times the offender chants without evil intentions. This chanting is counted as a sukriti. In other words, someone's just like, I can't do any better. So that's all right. You just keep chanting. Gradually, when the sukritis accumulate, he gains association of devotees dedicated to the pure name. Then the offender to the name, chanting the name incessantly, becomes free of the offense to the name. By this procedure, persons fixed in desiring liberation gradually become devotees of the Lord. So really the key here is association with devotees, with real devotees, with advanced devotees or pure devotees. You know, if you just associate with people who are so much materially interested and just using Krishna consciousness for their material interests, or using Krishna consciousness to merge or to get liberated, that association will not help one. In fact, it will hinder one in one's spiritual progress. Vijay Kumar said, if chanting the name once can destroy all sins, why is it necessary to chant continually? That's a good question. Hey, I've been chanting enough, once enough. I can at least chant once without offense. Okay, Hare Krishna, no offense, because I wasn't thinking of anything else. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Wow, completely inoffensive chanting. Maybe. So, Babaji said, the mind and behavior of the offender to the name is always contaminated. By nature, he is averse to the Lord. He always has a distaste for devotees, devotional objects, and devotional times. He has a natural taste for materialistic persons. So, see if this applies to you. You have a natural, that means a spontaneous taste for materialistic persons. What that means, okay, gotta make sure that no one's watching. I'm gonna offend. So I always have to check these things out. What that means, if one's attached to materialistic, let's say musicians, dramatists, wow, you hear about at concerts some rock and roll. Of course, rock and roll. People don't listen to rock and roll anymore. But musician, and you go into the what's called the mosh pit. Any one of you heard of the mosh pit? No, probably you haven't. A mosh pit is the pit, or pit. It's really the pits, as they say. It's the area right in front of the main stage where everyone is just going wild over the performer or the performance of the performer. So if we're attached, we say, oh, so-and-so is playing tonight. It's the frog and the little froggies playing tonight, or the demon and demonese who are playing tonight. And it's a concert. Wow, let's go. Yeah, it'll help my Krishna consciousness. No, it won't. So you become attached to that particular group. You have posters on your wall of the frog and the froggies, or whatever, or the demons and the demonese and demonesses. So he has a natural taste, this is material people, for materialistic persons, materialistic doctrines, like politics, whatever, and materialistic activities. Wow, let's do something materialistic today. If he chants constantly and avoids materialistic association and actions, the name gradually becoming the pure name without bad association bestows strength for spiritual objectives. So really, what's the problem, Prabhu, with materialistic association? Well, Krishna describes this in the Gita. Karnam guna sangasha sadasad janma jonishu. The reason we're entangled in this world is because of association with the modes of nature. These modes of nature are all pervasive except in holy places and in holy devotees. So, I compare the modes of nature to be like paint. Not only paint, but wet paint. What's the difference between paint and wet paint? Wet paint, you can touch it, and you will get that same color on your hands, your face, or whatever part of the body touches that. So when you come in contact with someone who adheres to materialistic doctrines or whatever, activities or whatever, then you get their modes of nature. It rubs off on you. Yeah, you associate with someone, it rubs off on you. All right, let me use an example that I've really seen with people. Okay, some people have pets. They may have a dog, a cat, a cockroach, or whatever they want to have. Okay, pets. So they keep their pets with them, and they hold their pets in their arms at night. They sleep with their dog. I've seen it. I'm not just making this up. Or with their cat, or with their little hamster or something. And so after a while, they take on the mentality of the dog. Of course, the dog also takes on. The dog meets you halfway. He takes like a semi-human mentality, and you take a semi-dog mentality. So you met halfway. And not only is the mentality changed, because when you change someone's mentality, their facial expressions and everything changes too. Like if you're happy, you smile. So when you get the dog mentality, you and the dog gets the human mentality, your faces, for both of you, the dog and you, tend to morph into each other's. So I've seen this many times. A man is walking his pug dog. You ever see this pug dog? Pug dog with a pug nose, like someone pushed in his nose, like he was a boxer or something like that. And the man is walking, and who's the dog and who's the man? So that's this modes of nature there. And you listen to certain music, whatever. It's the modes of nature. It affects your consciousness. Okay. I think I've spoken a lot about that before. Vijay Kumar said, Prabhu, the flow of nectar about Namatattva from your mouth, the truth of the holy name, entering our hearts through our ears, has made us insane for the prema ras of the name, the taste, the loving taste of the name. We have been successful today being able to understand the name Namabhas and Namaparada. That means Namabhas means either reflection or shadow of the name, and Namaparada means offensive chanting. We have developed greed to hear what you say in conclusion. So here's this conclusion. The Babaji says, Jagannatha Pandit has given one instruction in Prema Vivarta. Vivarta means the illusions, the Prema Vivarta. Because when one is in love, one is either in spiritual illusion or material illusion. Okay? And the spiritual illusion doesn't mean that one confuses reality with something that's unreal, but one confuses, one forgets about oneself, basically. That's spiritual prema or love. What was that we heard in class today? Oh yeah, it was an interesting statement. I wasn't giving class. That when you go to a holy place, even dreams in a holy place are real, are reality. And when you go to outside of the holy places in the material world, even reality is just a dream or illusion. So that's why you have to make your residential place a holy place, so you're not like in a constant dream for 100 years. Because this life is like a dream, just like that. Actually, there's one song, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. And that's actually true. It's a dream that lasts 100 years. And when you wake up, you discover, hey, those weren't my father and mother. Those weren't my siblings. Those weren't my children. That wasn't my wife. That nagging lady. Thank God. So anyway, so so here's the quote from the Prema Vivarta. Sadhu sange pai Krishna nama nahi hoy namaskara bahiraya bate tabu nama kabu naya. A brother, do not chant the name in the association of non-devotees. The external syllables of the name are present, but it is never the real name. Ooh. So different types of non-devotees. One type of non-devotee is the person who dresses, acts like a devotee, but they're actually materially attached. Too materially attached. I mean, have a little material attachment, or some is not a disaster. But they're not trying to get rid of it. They're just doing it. They're actors. Like Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage and everyone's an actor on it. So they're pretending, I'm a Hare Krishna. And they go home and they're not a Hare Krishna. So Kabu nama basa hai sada nama aparada e sabha jani bhai Krishna bhaktir vada. Sometimes this is namabhasa, and it's always namaparada. You should know, brother, that this is an obstacle to bhakti. Wow. Don't chant the name in the association of non-devotees. Of course, when we do Sankirtan, that's a different thing. Obviously, we are doing Sankirtan, going out, and there are people who are not Krishna conscious yet. So the way I see things, hold on, is that I see things is that everybody's a devotee, but they haven't realized it yet. They have amnesia. But if someone is adverse, be very careful. Yadi karibe Krishna nama sadhu sangha kara mukti mukti siddhi vancha dure parihar. If you chant the name of Krishna, take association of devotees, completely reject the desire for bhukti, mukti, and siddhis. Bhukti means sense gratification, gross. Mukti means liberation. Siddhis means power. Like some people really into power. Right? Power. They want to be superheroes. So who is a superhero? Krishna's a superhero. Not us. Whoops. That's interesting. Let me just check one thing. All right. Yeah. Krishna's a superhero. All right. Whoops. Hold on a second. Just like skipping. Whoops. Yeah, we skipped by touch the wrong key. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay, we're ready. Avoid the 10 offenses, pride and disrespect for others. Enjoy objects without attachment and chant Krishna's name. Krishna Bhaktir Hanukula Sabakara Svikara Krishna Bhakti Pratikula Sabakara Parihara. Accept everything favorable for bhakti to Krishna and reject everything unfavorable for bhakti to Krishna. It's Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's association or surrendering principles. Accepting everything that helps one become Krishna conscious and reject everything that doesn't help with it or is adverse. Jnana Yoga Cheshta Chara Ada Karma Sangha Markata Vairagya Tyaga Yate Deha Ranga. Give up attempts at Jnana Yoga and avoid association with karmas. Activities that give you some reaction. Jnana Yoga means basically just like trying to acquire more and more knowledge even about spiritual things, but with the idea of liberation. Liberation. Give up monkey renunciation by which one enjoys the body. For example, why is it called monkey renunciation? That's called Markata Vairagya. Where a monkey, he dresses, well, he's naked. He's renounced his clothes. He doesn't own anything. But what is he doing? He's just jumping from one lady monkey to another. Krishna Maya Pale Rakshe Jana Sarva Kala Atma Nivedana Danye Kuchao Changala. Know at all times that Krishna is the nourisher and protector, the offering of the self, and practice humility, destroy all troubles. That's the second two surrendering practices that Lord Chaitanya gave us. Knowing that Krishna is protecting you and he's maintaining you. Sarupave Kashtabada Jivera Janya Sarubhakta Rupe Krishna Haila Natya. Knowing that it's very difficult for the jiva to attain the devotees. To attain the association of devotees, Krishna came to Nadia as a pure devotee. That's Lord Chaitanya. Gaurapada Shraya Kareha Buddhimana Gaurabai Sadhu Guru Keva Achayana. The intelligent person should take shelter of Gauranga's lotus feet. That's Lord Chaitanya. Brother, what can one obtain? Where can one obtain a proper guru like Gauranga? Vairagi vai gramya kata nasuni be kane gramya varta nakahibe jabe malibe ane. O renounced brother, do not hear materialistic talks and do not discuss material topics when meeting others. Swapne ona karabai stri sambhashana grihe stri chatiyabai asiyat shavana. Brother, do not speak to women even in dreams. Giving up house and wife, you have come to the forest. So this is, of course, this doesn't mean that you don't speak to devotee women or people who become devotees, or women don't speak to men, or men who become devotees. This is basically for people who become Babajis, first of all. That injunction. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that we have to give up all desire to exploit others, whether they're the opposite sex or same sex or anything like that. That's the principle behind that. This is, so of course he cites the story of Haridas Thakur. Yadi chaha pranaya rakhite gorangera sane Chota Haridasera Katha Take Yenamane. If you want to keep your affection with Gauranga, then keep in your mind the story of Chota Haridasa. Chota Haridasa was a Babaji, and he was rejected by Lord Chaitanya because he didn't follow the rules of Babaji life, which is different. Don't apply it to anyone in the Krishna conscious movement. Bala na kaibeara, bala na paribe, vidiyete Radha Krishna sarvada sevibe. Do not eat good food and do not wear fine clothing. Always serve Radha and Krishna in your heart. Now that's in reference again to Babaji's. Good food. I mean, obviously you gotta eat food that's healthy for you. But in other words, the principle is not really just to be interested in titillating your taste buds and just, cooking all sorts of varieties just to titillate your taste buds, or going to the restaurants, just whatever is simple and the right quantity to maintain you. Bada Haridasera Naya Krishna Nama Balibe Badane Hasta Kala Radha Krishna Sevibe Kunjo Bane. Like Haridas, talking about Haridas Thakur, chant the names of Krishna and serve Radha Krishna in the bower of the forest. during 8 parts of the day. Wow. So that's in reference to the eightfold or 8 parts of the day of Radha Krishna's pastimes. The devotees who are very advanced, they meditate on these different parts of the day that Radha Krishna do different things during different parts of the day. And so during the daytime, they would go through Radha Krishna's day. Grahasta Vairagi Dune, Palegora Raya, Dekabai Namavina, Jaina Nina, Nahi Jaya. Gauranga spoke to both the householders and renunciates, see, brother, do not let the day pass without chanting the name. Bahuanga Sadhane, Bainaki Prayojana, Krishna Namashraye Shuddha, Kara Jivana. It is not necessary to practice many angas of bhakti. Purify your life by taking shelter of Krishna's name. So really, that's the point. That all these angas, branches, of bhakti, are meant to help you just take shelter of Krishna's name. If you can just do that one thing, you've done everything. Balajive Kripakari Krishna Haila Nama Kali Jive Dayakori Krishna Haila Goradhana. Being merciful to the bound jivas, Krishna became the name. Krishna, being merciful to the jivas of Kali Yuga, became Gauranga. So it's not that Krishna changed himself to become the name. To be more precise, he manifests himself. He manifests, not manifested. Krishna always manifests himself as the name. And Krishna always manifests himself as Gauranga or Lord Chaitanya. But sometimes we can see him and sometimes we can't. But Krishna is always manifesting his pastime as Lord Gauranga, Lord Chaitanya. Ekanta Sarabhave Vasagora Jana Tabita Bhai Shri Krishna Charana. Worship the devotees of Gauranga with sincerity, brother. Then you will attain Krishna's lotus feet. Gaurajana Sangakara Gauranga Baliya Hari Krishna Namabala Nachya Nachya. Taking the association of Gauranga's devotees and chant the name of Gauranga. Dancing and dancing, say, Hari Bol Hari Krishna. Achure Pai Bai Nama Prema Dana Yaha Vilaite Prabhur Nade Agamana. Very soon you will attain the treasure of prema from the name which Chaitanya came to Nadia to give. Hearing Prema Vivarta of Jagannatha from Babaji's mouth, Vijay Kumar and Brajanath became overcome with great prema. Babaji remained unconscious for a long time and then, holding the necks of Vijay Kumar and Brajanath while weeping, began to sing this song. Wow. Krishna Namadhari Kata Bala. How powerful is the name of Krishna. Vishaya Vasanale Morachita Sadajwale Ravi Tapta Maru Bhumi Sama Karnarandra Patadiya Ridimaje Praveshya Varishya Sudha Anupama. My heart always burns in the fire of material desires, like the desert scorched by the sun. The name enters my heart by the path of my ears and showers incomparable nectar. Hridaya haite vale, jiwara agrete chale, shabdarupe nache anushkshna, kante mora bange swara, anga kambe tara tara, stira haite na pare, charanha. From the heart the name moves to the tip of the tongue and then dances there constantly in the form of sound. My voice chokes up, my limbs tremble, and my feet cannot remain steady. Wow. Symptoms of pure devotee. See. Chakshedara dehi garma hulakita sabat charma vivarna haila kalevara muchita haila mana pralayera agamana bhave sarva deha jara jara. My eyes flow with tears, my body perspires, my hair stands on end, my complexion changes, my mind reels as I faint. My whole body becomes afflicted with sattvika bhavas. That means transcendental motive goodness, shuddha sattva emotions. Okay. Kariyeta upadravya chite varsha sudha dravya more dare premere sagare kichuna bushite dila more tavatula kaila more chitta vita sabe hare. The name causes such disturbance. It showers my heart with a river of nectar. It drowns me in an ocean of prema. The name has made me unable to understand anything. It has made me into a madman. It has stolen the treasures of my heart. Wow. Amazing. Of course, this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's poetry, obviously. This is his fictional novel. Well, novel is fictional. Layanu Ashraya Janrahena Vyavahara Tanra Varnitena Pariye Sakala Krishnanama Ichamaya Jahi Jahi Sukhi Hoya Se Mora Sukera Sambala. Having taken shelter of the name, it treats me in this way. I am not able to describe it. The name of Krishna acts as it pleases. It is the storehouse of my happiness. Wow. Amazing. Premera Kalika Nama Abhutara Siradama Henabala Karaye Prakasha Ishat Vikashi Purna Yekaya Rijarupa Guna Jita Harilaya Krishna Pasha. The name is the bud of prema. It is the abode of astonishing ras. It reveals such power. Blossoming a little more, it shows Krishna's form and qualities. It steals my heart and takes me near Krishna. Purna vikakshitahana braje more jaya lana ekaya more swarupa vilasa more siddhadeha dia Krishna pase rakegya He dehera kare sarvanasha. Fully blossoming the name takes me to Braja, that's the spiritual world, and shows me the pastimes of Krishna. It gives me a spiritual body, siddha deha, that's what it means, perfect body, and keeps me near Krishna. It destroys my material body. Krishna nama chitamani akila raserakani nitya mukta shuddha rasamaya namera balayata sabalaye hayamata tabe bora sukera udaya. The name of Krishna is Chintamani. That means like a desire stone that gives you whatever you want. It is a mine, that means a repository, of all rasas, relationships and tastes of relationships. It is eternally liberated and full of pure ras taste. When all obstacles to the name are destroyed, I become happy. As he sang this song about the name, it became midnight. When the chanting was finished, Vijay Kumar and Rajanath, taking permission from the Guru, went home absorbed in the ras, or the taste of the name. Wow, that finishes that chapter. See if we can go on and start the next chapter. Okay, 26 is called Vibhava. Vibhava, I'll give you the definition of this before you start the chapter. Vibhava means that which stimulates the other emotions. For example, there's two types of vibhavas. One is directly Krishna, and the other is things related to Krishna. Directly Krishna means if you see Krishna, whoo, that's a vibhava. It's called alambana. You don't have to learn the terms. I'm sure they'll teach you about it in this particular chapter. And if you see a flute without seeing Krishna, that's called udipana. That reminds you of Krishna. Or if you see a peacock feather, it automatically reminds you of Krishna. Or if you hear a flute, for example, give you an example, my own life, that one time I was at Govardhan and I heard the sound, beautiful sound of a flute. Like that. And what happened? I thought, I am hearing Krishna. I remembered Krishna. And I was in ecstasy. But then I realized they were just playing some mundane flute song on the loudspeaker system where I lived. Anyway, it's life. At least for a few minutes I thought I had become Krishna conscious. So, anyway, so let's go on to that. That's what a vibhava is. So the rasa. Rasa means a taste, and it's called vibhava. It's actually a type of bhava, which is related with ras. Ras means a taste, and the taste you get an emotional expression, which is a bhava, or emotion. Okay. So, Vijay Kumar did not come for almost a month. Oh my God. So this is like Brajanath goes home and his uncle just went away for almost a month. Brajanath's grandmother, understanding the intentions of Brajanath and Vijay Kumar, decided on a good bride through an arranger. Is that an oxymoron? Good bride? No, I'm just joking. Hearing the news, Vijay Kumar sent his brother to Bilva Pushkarini for making arrangements for an auspicious wedding for his nephew. The marriage took place on an auspicious day. When the affairs of the marriage had settled down, Vijay Kumar arrived one day. His heart was eager for spiritual topics. He did not discuss material matters, but sat alone, his mind somewhere else. So really what happened is that Brajanath got married, obviously. That's what we're talking about. He got married. Let me just turn off the beeping of this thing. And Vijay Kumar was originally supposed to come for the marriage. He said, uncle, dear uncle. But he didn't, because he actually was wanting to get completely renounced. And so he didn't want to get into like marriages where you sit for 3 days and the ladies are crying and the men are talking business. He didn't want to get into it. So he didn't come to the marriage because he was renounced. It's not necessary for a renounced person to come to a marriage. Although, I sometimes do that for people who are close to me. I'll go to the marriage and they say, give us your blessings. Sannyasi blessing in a marriage. Really rasabas there. And I say, Shivat, you have my blessings. Anyway, but in Krishna conscious movement, we're all like family, so we're happy when someone gets nicely married. So Vijay Kumar arrived one day after Brajanath was married. His heart was eager for spiritual topics. He did not discuss material matters, but sat alone, his mind somewhere else. So I think this is a good place to break off right now. And we can continue. And let's stop sharing. I'll have a little announcement after the class. Okay, hold on a second. Let me unmute you or allow you to unmute yourselves. Minimize. Hold on. Let me just. Okay, I gotta move the chat window. Okay, so you are technically allowed as of now to unmute yourself. So who has a question? Raise your hand, type in the text window or chat window, whatever you may call it. Or you can unmute yourself directly by my permission. So, Tulsi, the most renounced person.
Yeah. I was thinking when they were describing how they were just like really swimming in the holy names, and it was just taking them everywhere.
Yeah.
And um, just the descriptions, it was so beautifully poetic and everything. But I was thinking how in the material world that perversion, how people like take intoxication, especially like psychedelics, and they want to like really get into that same kind of feeling, but it's just really limited and they come back down again. And anyway, just how it's such a perversion.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have experience of those things. So anyway, but yet at least in concerts too, it's like that. People go to these big concerts.
Mm.
I even know devotees are attached to these things. They go to these concerts and they really get into it, and it's just like they're swimming in so-called ecstasy. It's not
Yeah.
real ecstasy. It's as that book was called, The Agony and the Ecstasy. It's more agony than ecstasy. So they're swimming in agony, and I feel sorry for them. But devotional service is always an ocean of nectar. It's not that you have to pay, get a ticket, go to a scalper to get a ticket. A scalper means someone who sells you a ticket at a higher price. That you can always experience ecstasy 24 hours a day, even when you're resting or sleeping. Okay, who else has a question? That's interesting. Okay, Mr. Gopal.
Please accept my obeisance, Shri Gurudev.
Yeah.
So we see sometimes in ourselves or others that we understand logically and with sensibility, rationally, that Krishna consciousness is the best thing. Chanting the holy name is the best thing. Executing the process of Krishna consciousness is the best thing. But the emotion and the desire for it isn't there. You understand that you have to eat because you feel hunger, but at the same time you just don't want to. What is that?
Because of a bad association. So if you feel like that, if you know that it's good for you and you don't have really want to do it, then you just take up some good association. And the reason you have that issue is that you have some really bad association. And bad association is not only other people, it can be like movies, it can it can be like thoughts, remembrances, it can be any of these things.
But we take on association because we want that association, isn't it?
Yeah. So you have to, that means you have to want to become Krishna conscious. You have to want to eat, Krishna conscious or make advancement.
So how can one bridge the gap between knowing what is right and wanting to do what is right?
Prioritize. Just make a list of things that are high priority as far as your goals are concerned. Function on the intelligence platform and make some strategic plan in your life.
Hmm.
If you make a strategic plan, you just take an objective. Just like, yeah, I was just talking to devotees yesterday about preaching. Actually, or let me quote one of my godbrothers, Vaisheshika, who said that when you have plans or you have an objective, goals. He says goals are very potent. That's what he talked about. If you don't have a goal, then you don't have anything to shoot for. Like if you're doing business and there's no goal in your business, just like sometimes we have these quote preaching programs, and people don't have the goal in mind. They're just thinking, oh, it's just preaching. Then without that goal, then then you're just like a soggy sup mess. And I've seen that that's what happens. We've been talking to the devotees lately about this. We have to have a goal. Like I say, you say, okay, over the next few months, we're going to distribute so many books. In the next few months, so many new devotees. But we don't think like that generally. We just think, oh, let's go out and preach. Yeah, and I was inspired by Vaisheshika, who has this understanding that goals are potent, they're powerful. So let's say one of the things he's done to increase book distribution all over the world, not just in North America, is by giving temples different quotas and then saying the next year, double it. Like that. And you have this goal, this objective. Because without goals, we're all over the place. So you have to figure what your objective is, or as that's called a mission statement. You understand? The mission statement. And then focus on that mission statement. Of course, then we're talking about like interim goals, which are strategic mission statements. So, but your long-term goal and your interim goals, you got to figure out, and you can do it. Amazing things. I mean, that's where amazing things happen when people took up the goals in book distribution. All right.
Thank you, Gurudev.
Thank you, Gopal Dave. So, who else has a question?
I have something.
Okay, you got another opportunity.
So in the past, you've never like pushed me with the goal for book distribution. And I've seen the people that are temples in the past that have had goals for book distribution. Sometimes they end up, we have all the horror stories, or making, you end up getting people that, pushing people to be a devotee that aren't really.
That's right. That's right. So it has to be applied intelligently, not unintelligently. Goals have to be applied intelligently. And not that you become fanatic about the goal, you have to be practical too. But, it has to, you have to have a goal, And I saw that with devotees who didn't deviate, and who didn't do anything wrong, who didn't bring the wrong people. They just were focused on what they were trying to do. I mean, sometimes you won't reach the goal. It's not that your whole life is based on reaching the goal, except the goal is Krishna consciousness. That's another thing. And the goals should be realistic. They're called SMART goals, if you're talking about strategic planning. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic. And time-bound. In the next year. That's just called a SMART goal. Because businesses do that. So why can't we do that too? Otherwise, we don't think about what we're trying to achieve. And we just think of the process of achieving something without what we're trying to achieve. And we don't even think about the why. So it's how, what, and why. 3 different factors. How? That's the process. What? What means what we're trying to do. That's a SMART goal. And why? What is the reason for it? Okay, time to end. Okay, just one quick announcement. Hopefully I'll be able to give the class tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be in the country of Orlando, Florida. So I should be able to give the class tomorrow from Orlando, but we will see what Krishna wants. Thank you very much. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Ki Jai.